And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome, friends. Uh, we are going with the hard time and challenging environment outside around us. In this, today's topic is the interview skills. This is the most important part after we finish our MBA course after 2 years down the line. So basic skills, how to crack the interview, and how you should prepare for to get a better job in your life after 2 years. So getting an interview call for your dream job is another step in the right direction. However, it is not the end of the road, as you still need to crack the particular interview which you are attending. In this presentation, we look at the some important interview skills that can help you as the interview and get the job. So let us see what are the most effective interview skills which we have. The first, I think somebody is disturbing us, and I'll request all the participants kindly mute your mic so that we can hear properly. Okay, coming back to my point, the four skills which is required, that is one, research the company. It is very important to gain the basic information about the company for which you are interviewing. In the study, 47% of the interviewer relieved that they won't offer the job to a candidate if they had a little knowledge about the company where they are appearing for the interview. So research part is a major important part before you attending the interview, whether it is a bank, whether it is a FMCG company, or whether it is agro-based company, or whether it's a hospitality company. You should have research about that company before going for the interview. That is my first preference. Now, second preference is analyze the job description. This is very important because whenever the company comes to the management college for the placement, they first send their company profile and they attach the job description profile, which is very important. So be sure to note the key focus of the areas of the role you applied for. What are the role they are offering to you? Okay. Second, read carefully the job description and make a list of the point to justify how you are capable of achieving the specific duties which is going to be offered by the company to you. So job description, you have to see where we can match to that job description properly, and then probably you should apply for it. The third important point is brush up the basics. Along with an impressive personality, you also need to excellent subject knowledge. And whenever you are the fresher or an experienced professional, you can accept certain tough questions also. If you are an experienced guy, naturally the interviewer will try to pull your legs by asking some tough questions. So you have to be prepared for it. So prepared for potential customer from the interviewer. Okay, sometimes they try to see your decision making process, where you have a single decision making process mind, or whether you have a family kind of a decision making point. So in that case they will try to pull your leg. So you have to be very particular and you have to be prepared for potential interview questions. That is another important point. The fourth, the important point which I want to mention here is prepared for potential interview questions. Most of the interviewers in the company, they have a common questions. Some of the examples which I can give it to you right now is, tell me something about yourself. It's a common question normally interviewer asks when you entered for the interview. Now you have to follow the some of the systems which while answering this question. Once you start, yourself, then you should start from your schooling, coming back to the college, and then your management, and then your experience which you have, you can explain to the interviewer. Describe who you are and where do you see yourself down the line after 5 years. That is most important questions, because that shows you about your confidence in the interviewer, and then interview will impress you and you will get a job. Because normally people say, sir, 5 years down the line, I may be looking for senior manager position. Then immediately after that, the interviewer will ask you how you are projecting yourself down the line after 5 years as a senior manager or manager position. So this is critical question where you have to explain him what is your path or what is your road of a map to achieve that particular senior manager and manager role after 5 years, which you are projecting in front of him. Once you projected on a proper manner, okay, then he will be impressed by you and it will be clear that you will get a proper job or that particular job. The fifth and important point, another, is you should be more punctual. Reach well in time to appear for the professional interview. So you have to be more punctual and more, professional guy while going for the interview. Another point, be attentive. Good, see, you have a good communication skills. You can go long way in embracing the interviewer. Listen carefully to everything the interviewer is saying, what question is asking. So you should be a good listener, and then you should be a good sweet talker also when answering to that particular question. So be attentive. You have to be attentive and you should be more careful while when he asks the question, so that you, once you understand that question, you can reply it back on a proper way and he'll be satisfied by your answers. Speak clearly, another important point. Maintain clarity of the speech at all the time to project confidence and clarity of the thought. When communicating, speak in a calm and a clear manner. Very, very important point. You have to be very clear when he asks you any question and when you answer that particular question. If interviewer asks you how many XYZ is there, if you doesn't know the answer, you should say, sorry, sir, I am not aware about this answer. But do not try to pull his leg by giving some XYZ answer. But it will create a negative impact on you. Okay, so very important, speak clearly and a knowledge if you have, otherwise say sorry and admit that you doesn't know that particular question answer. That will give you another good important message to the interviewer that the person who is coming for the interview is very clear from his mind. Next important point is, next important point is maintain a good body language. A very, very important point. I got a 30 years experience in my industry, professional industry line. Okay. I had met so many people, I had interviewed so many people. Okay. I think some of body language are very good and some are not good. But you should keep always a good body language. Okay. From sitting, I'll say that from entering the interviewer's room, then sitting at the chair, and sit properly, listen properly, and give the answer properly. So body language is another important point which I want to maintain here very clearly. Make the eye contacts always with the interviewer. There are some people I had met in my life, they never give the interview by eye contact. They say they hear they see here and there and then answer the question. This will give you a negative feedback from your body, from your side, and then interviewer will start thinking on the negative level. So this is another important point which you have to make sure that eye contact should be there when the interviewer come to your place or you reach to the interviewer's. Another important point which I want to mention here is explain your resume very clearly. Very clear. When you prepared your resume and you write your resume, if you're an experienced guy, you mention your some skills, some potentials with you, and then company experience. So while giving the interview to the interviewer, you have to explain your resume very clearly so that he will understand you on a proper way, and this will result that he will offer you a job on 100% basis. So resume writing is another skill, and resume explaining to the when you go for the interview is another skill. Okay, that is important point. Always stay motivated. Okay, when you go for the interview or when you're sitting for the interview, don't try to think on a negative angle. Okay, always motivate ourselves inside the body language from every angle point of view. Another important point which I want to mention is here is you want to show the gratitude towards the interviewer. Most of the time when I interviewed the people, they never say thank you to me. So whenever you finish your interview, end of the interview, you should say gratitude to the interviewer. No matter how your interview goes, always take a moment to thank the interviewer for their time and their consideration for you as an interview. A positive attitude and a polite behavior can go a long way in a impression people. So we impress the people by this some 12 thoughts which I have given today. So make sure that whenever you go for the interview, first, I repeat again, first research the company, research the product, analyze the descriptions of the job which they're offering to you, see where you can match to your all this thing, thoughts and everything. Brush up your basic things, prepare for the potential questions which interviewer will ask you, dress properly before you're going for the interview. I'm not saying you should wear always a blazer. You can have a smaller tie. It will give that you are also a positive from your angle. Be punctual, speak clearly, maintain a good body language, make the eye contact with the interviewer, research explaining your resume on a proper way if you're an experienced person or whether you're non-experienced person. Stay motivated and then show the gratitude towards the interview. So these are my few points which I want to tell you. And last, remember the interview is all about you and how well you represent yourself. So be confident, follow the above tips. We are sure you will be able to do a good job. All the best and thank you very much. Any questions anybody wants to ask me? Now it is open for all of you. Another 10 minutes. We have another 10 minutes to go, ma'am. So any questions or anything if anybody wants. Hello? Hello?
I think participants are mute. Participants are mute. I request participants to post your questions if they are in the chat box.
Yeah, I got first feedback from Dipali Kudle. She said, "Thank you, sir, giving us such useful information. How to face the questions confidently." Okay. There is a first question has come from the Pragati. Okay. Now Pragati asked me about how we should handle the questions, give the answers properly. See, when we have a knowledge, okay, that knowledge will give you a confidence. So first, that's why I mentioned before you attending any kind of an interview, research the company, research their product, see the what they have competition in the market, what the competition are doing. Okay, and then once you go there, and if you have both the knowledge, the company knowledge and the competition knowledge also there, that confidence will give you, and you can answer it properly whenever they ask you any questions. Sir, if we do any questions, ये जा रहा है। Shirish Mughal का एक questions है. Shirish, you ask something. Shirish? 13. Hello? Yeah. Hello?
So one question we have received that for final students you have any suggestions or not? How should I prepare if I am taking finance specialization?
See, as far as my experience is concerned, okay. Now, future finance job will be different. Okay, so depend on the situation to situation. You have to take. Okay, so that is my simple things in that regard.
One more questions. One of the attendees asked that what will be some questions asked regarding your short-term goal and long-term goal. So how we should give them the answers? If interviewer asks me that what will be your short-term goal and what will be your long-term goal, so how to tackle this type of questions?
Okay, the question has come: how to tackle the short-term kind of a job,
short-term goal and long-term goal.
The long-term goal. Okay.
After 2-3 years, where I can see myself in this organization, this is my short-term goal.
Okay, this COVID-19 has had teach us a long way. Okay? See, earlier, once the person has joined the organization, he was looking for his stay in that particular organization for a long period, like 15 years, 20 years. But now, henceforth, our job profile or your job profile will be changed each after 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years down the line. And you should be clear and you should be prepared to change your particular profile. Okay. So there is a short-term goal will be there. Long-term goal will not be continued, and it will be continued depends on the situation. But most of the situations, there will be a short-term goal, and then you have to prepare for it. Some Dhanashri has given communication matter at time of interview or no? Yes, Dhanashri, communication is a very important factor when you sit in front of the interviewer. And in today's world, English is a top priority. So at least to crack the interview, you should have command over English, and you should speak only in English, and your communication should be very clear while answering the question.
How to improve English communication?
Now, there's a question has come another way. Pratik is given when the interviewer asks for any questions, then what kind of a question should I ask? The interviewer asks about pay scale, then how can we reply? Pratik, it's a good question. Okay, but nowadays in management college, whenever any recruiter comes, he has already cleared his package. That is first. So you are aware about what package they are going to offer to a fresher or experienced guy for that particular role. Okay, but you can ask him about, if you have not mentioned the particular placement area, you can ask him which are the another openings are available. If you want to take a challenge and if you want to shift to some another place, to implement your strategy in that particular new market, you can ask such kind of questions. But all these things will be happened when you have research about that company, and then you appear for the interview after reading the job description which they had sent it to you. Right, Pratik? Is this English speaking matter on the interview? Amit Joshi has raised this question. Yes, boss. English is very important nowadays, and you have to be very practical when you go for the interview. So I think I prefer that we should be prepared, English speaking in your daily base. So my suggestions to everyone is start speaking English on a daily basis inside your group. Okay, and then slowly, you will get confidence, and that confidence will convert, okay, into your body language, and that body language and confidence will crack the good interview. Shirish has asked some questions that messed up. Shirish is there? Shirish Mughal? Shirish? Okay, we have another 5 minutes, so what will be the answer if they ask about the expected salary? Okay, this Sonia Janwani also asked this question. So what will be the answer if they ask about what salary you are expecting? Now, depending on the role which company is offering you, okay, and depending on the company's situations which you had already researched, okay, you have to decide what package you can expect from the company.
One question is coming from several participants that if interviewer asks that what is your weakness, so what should I tell?
See, normally in the interview, company interview, they ask you these questions frequently. You tell me something about yourself and your strength and your weaknesses. We always talk about our strength. I'm a sweet talker. I'm a good listener. I'm a very dashing guy. Okay, I like to take a challenge and everything. But nobody talks about weaknesses, because once you talk about weaknesses, okay, then it is your duty to explain the interviewer how you come up with that. What is your plan to come out with the weaknesses? Have you given thought about it? About your weaknesses? Suppose one weakness, okay, we tell them, sir, I get nervous if I could not get always a positive this thing, or I'll not get any, I'll not achieve my target. So you have to give the proper answer also in that weaknesses. If you get nervous, what is your style to come out from that sad kind of a mood? So when he asks about strength and weaknesses, 3 or 4 you have to tell them about your strength, and one only your weaknesses. For that weaknesses, you have to be prepared yourself before going or before attending the interview. That you have to make sure. Okay? And this weaknesses I cannot tell you right now, because it is human tendency. Okay? So you have to understand yourself, what is your strength and what is your weaknesses. So once you chalk down the piece of the paper, what is your strength and what is your weaknesses, and when you have one weaknesses, you have to find out what exactly answer we can give it to the interview. Yeah, Rahul Saxena asked a good question. He said, "What will be the answers of tell me about more apart from your resume?" Now, in this case, the interviewer wants to find out, okay, whether you will be a social person, whether you will take the extra responsibility on your shoulder, whether you will be an open-minded person. So when they ask you about these questions, apart from your resume, tell me something about yourself, you should more emphasize on your hobbies and what curricular extra activity which you have done in past in your life, and your achievement so far in your life. That shows your interest. That shows your achievement. Achievement shows your contribution